Okay, for a little while, I'll be doing a lot of generic perfumes content. I got a bunch of the oils in. I'm just mixing them up little by little. And in my experiences, these are extremely close to the original. So it's a good way to like sample the original and maybe even think about comparing them to the real deal. So let's get going. Okay, the first one I got up here is Soul Patchouli from Vertus. And I do have a decan of the real thing. I've worn it quite a few times. I did a side-by-side. This is really close. It's in that 85% range where I like them to be. Maybe even slightly higher than that, but definitely around 85%. It doesn't transition kind of the same, but it's pretty accurate. It's a little more linear, but still it's really close. This Soul Patchouli is one of the best patchouli fragrances I've ever smelled. It's just real versatile too for a patchouli fragrance, because they're not typically that versatile. So you get some top notes of like it's a bunch of green patchouli, and there's a nice iris note mixed into it. Then in the heart, you start picking up a little mimosa and marshmallow to kind of sweeten it up, give it a little bit of a floral tone. And then there's like a civet at the bottom to kind of make it, very earthy. So it's really nice. I'd say spring and fall are the best times to wear this. It's got several types of patchouli in it. The original does. I'm sure this is just one type of patchouli they use in this, but it's many kind of herbal and a little bit of medicine notes. And it's got like a fizzy, sparkling, citrusy like opening. And the mids and the dry down, you get it to, like a little bit of a dirty earthiness in it, which I like. And it's got a little bit of like a green powder to it too. So yeah, this is really nice. And this is a good version of it. Happy to have this. And yeah, check out the real thing. If you get a chance, at least get a decan of it sometime if you're really into patchouli fragrances. All right, the next one up is this Scandal Absolu from JPG. This is a new 2024 release, and I have smelled the original several times, and I didn't do a side-by-side, but this is really close. It's kind of like a mixture of 1 Million Lucky mixed with like a Stronger With You Absolutely is kind of what I get out of this thing. It's really good. The original and this is at 85 to 90% close without doing a side-by-side. And yeah, it's a great fall scent. Fall, winter, you could wear it either way. So it's sweet, gourmand, creamy, fruity, a little synthetic like that scent profile is. There's some caramel notes in it, chestnut, sandalwood. There's they've got that the Scandal orange notes in it. And there's a nice plum note in this too. You pick it up. It kind of gives it that lucky vibe. Tonka bean, some brightness from the bergamot in here too at the beginning, along with the mandarin orange. Some cedar, clary sage, and a vetiver note too. So yeah, it's a nice flanker to the regular Scandal, which I really like that too. So I think this is a great release, but it is sort of redundant, because it is a lot like Strong With You Absolutely or 1 Million Lucky. So when you smell this, you're not going to be blown away like this is something completely different. But if you don't have those, or you like that scent profile a lot and you want like a twist on it, this is a great one. Yeah, check this one out, the real deal especially, but this is an excellent clone of it. All right, the next one is Cardinal by Heeley, which I've never smelled the original on, but I'm reading some of the reviews on this one, and it sounds like this lines up to being pretty close to what the original is, like most of these are. So it's smoky, spicy, resinous, woody, and there's a freshness to this. So they took like a frankincense, churchy incense vibe, which I really like, and they kind of freshened it up with this one, which is kind of a neat twist on it, because usually they darken it up, but this one they actually freshen it up. So it's got this linen note, which kind of gives it the freshness in it, and it's got black pepper and pink pepper right out of the gate. Then there's some frankincense, myrrh, labdanum, like a typical incense fragrance will have, and some vetiver, ambergris, and patchouli as it dries down. So it's just a real clean incense with like a cold vibe, like almost like you're wearing a linen shirt fresh out of the laundry while you're in like a Catholic church, this going through a service with all the incense going. So that's about the best thing I can come with describing it, and I've seen it described that way by other people too. So yeah, this is a nice one if you're looking for like a fresher take on a church incense type fragrance. They did a good job on this one. I'm guessing this one's really close to the original. Okay, the next one up is Imperium from Electimuss. So I'm pretty much burnt out on Creed of Venice and Hasselblad and anything like that. But so I was a little worried about this one, but this one will work for me. It's definitely not quite a Creed of Venice, but we'll talk about that. So it's sweet, fresh, citrus, spicy, woody. The notes on this are a little bit different. It's got that coriander and bergamot at the top. In the middle, you got some florals, some rose, some saffron, neroli. And at the base, you got some bourbon, vanilla, musk, amber, patchouli, woods, and oud. So that doesn't sound like it's going to come out to what I'm going to say it's going to smell like, but it basically smells like a Venice, Hasselblad, and Ani mixed in. You got the lemon, vanilla of the Ani. There's quite a bit of vanilla in this. And it's really fresh, so you got some of the freshness from the Hasavat. And there's definitely an Venice vibe to this thing too. So a lot of people compare it to a Venice, and I won't say that. It's definitely like a Venice cologne if you're going to compare it to a Venice. But I think it's pretty much what I said, a mixture of all three of those. I think this would be a great spring fragrance. And yeah, it does have some Venice vibes, but not enough to annoy me or whatever. Yet it's getting to the point I've smelled Venice so many times, and I just I guess I get annoyed by it when I wear it. It's okay for the first couple hours, and I get tired of wearing it. But this one I've had on and I've worn already for hours, and I like it. It's a nice scent, and can't wait to try it out in the spring. And I'm guessing from what I read, this is pretty close to the original based on how this smells and what I'm reading Electimuss smells like. And like I said, in my experience, these are generally really close. So I'm going to guess it's close again in this instance. The next one is this Oud Bleu Intense from Fragrance du Bois. It's a little bit different than the notes in the scent profile looks like it would be, because it's spicy, woody, fresh, resinous, fruity, and it's kind of aquatic. But the fragrance pyramid, you've got cardamom, mandarin orange, and nutmeg at the top. Then you got cistus, frankincense, myrrh, and amber in the mids. And then at the base, you got eponax, benzoins, myrrh, oud, and styrac. So you're thinking this is going to be like a winter, a fall fragrance, but it doesn't feel that way at all. It's fresh, soapy, clean, some amber and clean resins. And you'd think it'd be deep and rich, but it's kind of fresh, bright, clean, and smooth. And it's got like a sort of a blue feel to it too. Not exactly aquatic, but definitely a blue note. This is something I would probably wear in the spring. By looking at the notes and stuff, though, you would think it's going to be a fall or winter fragrance, whatever. But no, this is a spring and possibly even like summer nights or something. So yeah, this is a nice one. And I'm pretty sure they're going to be close to the original again, because reviews I've read and what I've seen on YouTube, it kind of smells like what they're describing. So yeah, this is an interesting fragrance, and kind of be neat to get my nose on the original on this. All right, the next one up is Serge Noir. From Serge Lutens, and it's this one's extremely close. I have the original. This one's at least 90% close, even as it transitions. I did a side-by-side a couple times now, and it's almost spot on, really close. Serge Lutens, if you haven't been paying attention to me lately on here, I just love this house. Just real artistry involved in all the scent profiles they come up with, and just the quality of ingredients and the artistry is just really at high level here. So it's one of my favorite houses. This one's got a real like fall scent profile to it. Tons of cloves, a lot of incense, spices, woods, a lot of cinnamon, amber, and there's some patchouli when you get down to the base. It just opens up spicy with cloves and a bunch of other spice. Ton of cloves, and as it dries down, it kind of the incense, woods, and the amber come out. And at the complete bottom end of the dry down, you finally pick up the patchouli a lot. So if you're not a big fan of cloves, you might want to stay away from this, because there is a lot of cloves in this one and the original. It's a nice spicy smoke, just really incensey and masculine too. Love this one, and love Serge Noir, and they really nailed it on this one. So yeah, like I said, on this house, generic, they're clones. So all the ones I have here that I've done, I've got 3 or 4 of these of the ones I've done, more than half, and they're just super close. So I got to believe on the ones that I don't have something to compare it to, that it's got to be close to, because they're just so spot on the ones I do have. So great job here, generic. All right, the way I look at these generic perfumes, 15 milliliters I make here, it's like a good chance to try out fragrances, almost like getting a bunch of decants, but having 15 milliliters to play with. I can share them with other people, or wear them for a long while, and then maybe even get the original and do some comparisons and see how far they are off, just for fun. And I actually like mixing the oils and playing with them too. So yeah, I enjoy getting these from generic. So if you made it this far, like, subscribe, and comment. That helps the algorithm. And I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch.